You know what the reality is, Chad? You know what everyone is afraid to articulate? Is that normal people are sick and tired of seeing millionaires and billionaires use the language of the oppressed to tell us how difficult their life is. Like there are 99% of the people on the planet that would want their life with all the hardship that it has, as long as it's with the money attached. Like, we would love it. So it's very difficult for us to empathize when you're telling us just how difficult being a millionaire is. How difficult being a famous person is like. And we also don't buy this bullshit. It's like, oh yes, but we are the voice of the marginalized, and without us actors, like, the world would collapse, and then people would go into Nazism and all that shit. Like this is what people are genuinely sick and tired of. Because now, what happened is that you have the millionaires and the billionaires that created the Acolyte TV show. And they're saying that, no, it's amazing, it's the best thing ever, and it's just like some racist trolls online that are giving us bad publicity. Like, maybe in 20 years, people are going to look at the Acolyte the same way people are looking now at Picasso or Da Vinci, because it's such an awesome and amazing work of art. But again, it's like just some random trolls on Twitter and on YouTube that is just damaging our reputation. Like, we spend hundreds of millions of dollars in marketing. We pump all of this cash, and we have all these influencers, and we got all these aggregator websites in our pocket, but it's just like those random trolls on YouTube that can't even convince people to subscribe on their channel. It's like, no, those are the problem. So you have like this entire culture of victimhood. It's like, oh, why won't someone care about the millionaire and the billionaire? Like, do you not see how they're struggling to create something? But the American sexismus, which exists around the world, is just like destroying their beautiful art form. Fuck me. And people are sick and tired of this, right? Because they've heard it for the last 6 years. Like, ever since 2016 came along, it's literally the same fucking story over and over and over again. It's like, if you don't like our movie, you're a sexist. If you don't like our movie, you're suffering from racism. If you don't like our movie, you're a misogynist pig. So go work. Go slave at the factory. Go slave at the wage cage and give us your $60. Because what we've created is the Rorschach test. If you do not like the Black Little Mermaid, it is because you are suffering from racism. And if you do not like people who suffer from racism, you should give money to the mouse. Because only through the light and power and wisdom of the mouse can we fight racism. Like, again, like, people are so sick and tired of this rhetoric. And then you have like all the vile rhetoric that is coming. And you have like the Disney leaks, where they're basically admitting that they're not interested in hiring white men anymore, right? So with that context, with the culture that we live in, is it a big surprise when one of the actresses associated with the Acolyte production is being taken out of context, and people are showing an old video of her where she is saying that making white men cry is the purpose? And within the context where she said that video, it made sense, but like, people were using that old footage in order to try to link it to her current production with the Acolyte. But again, like, this was solved within minutes. Like, the community notes were added. People realized, okay, well, she didn't mean this. Whatever. So what she does is she makes one of the cringiest videos on the internet. Like, it's incredibly cringe. Now, I can't show you because she would copyright strike it. So you gotta take my word for it, right? Without being able to see it, it is cringe, okay? Insanely cringe. Like, think of the cringiest thing that you see and double it down to 11. Right? That's how cringe it is. Again, I can't show you. I would show you and you would see for yourself, and maybe you would say, well, V, like, that's not really cringe. That's actually a good video. But unfortunately, since I can't show it to you, I can just say my personal opinion, and my personal take is that it's the most cringe video that has ever been made on the internet ever in the history of mankind. That's how cringe it is. But there were people that analyzed the video because she had talking points, right? Like, the rich people, they have a lot of political takes, and there were individuals on YouTube that were showing the video and they were talking about the points that she was making, to which they realized that they got a copyright strike on their video for showing copyright material. Right, so like when that happens, you can tell YouTube that, well, actually, no, this is fair use because I'm offering political commentary to the video. See the case with Aquila Hughes and Sargon of God. To which YouTube will ask her, it's like, do you agree with this? And if she says no, then the copyright strike remains and you can take her to court. Now, a lot of people are very enthusiastic in taking a billionaire to court, especially over international lawsuits, if the person doesn't happen to be in the United States. So this is the current controversy that we're in, right? Star Wars actress responds to haters. Like, again, if you hate the haters, go watch the TV show is the message. This is now part of the publicity stunt, right? Like, this is how Disney advertises its products. Remember how when we were growing up, like, there was none of this nonsense? It was literally just, oh, look at this amazing stuff that America has produced. Who did that? Disney. Oh my god, like, look at the magic of Disney. Look how amazing this cartoon is. But now it seems that they moved away from quality, they moved away from stuff like that, they moved away even from originality. Like, they can't create new shit. Everything Disney does is like, alright, well, which one of our old films was popular? Snow White. Okay, well, let's have Snow White, but remove the dwarves from it, and let's cast someone that's not white in the role of Snow White. And then we have like an entire marketing team, and we make it sound that anyone that disagrees with us is suffering from a severe case of racismus. And if you want to stick it to the racismus, you need to come and give us money so you can see this shit. And that is literally what Disney is doing, right? Like, literally 100%. So when I'm looking at this, yeah, I think it's part of the marketing. I genuinely do. I think this is what American actors are like now. This is why VTubers are more popular. This is why most young people can't name a single actor that's under the age of 40. I mean, they can name Johnny Depp, you know, they can name Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, they can name the ones that actually were popular with the fans. But nowadays, actors are struggling as best as possible to be as unlikable and unpopular with the common folk outside of like some very fringe, niche, and small interest groups. And they're doing everything they can in order to drag attention to them, even if it means being antagonistic, even if it means being a cheeky little shit on the internet, even if it means doing all of these things. It's like, okay, look at this oppressed millionaire copyright striking all their critics, all their YouTubers. It's like, yeah, sure, you can do it, but then don't expect the public to like you for it, because all these YouTubers together, they have like hundreds of millions of fans, and you're basically telling their fans that, no, actually, you're not allowed to listen to this guy. And again, I would understand if people just took her actual music video and placed it on their channel and just left it like that and monetized it, right? Like, I would understand why anyone would copyright strike in that situation, but it was just obviously not the case. Like, she would go out of her way in order to find any type of clips, any type of segments from the music, and give it a copyright strike. Like, notice how she's not copyright striking Asmongold. Why? Because Asmongold has almost 1 million subscribers. He's got money in the bank, and if she was to do something like this, he would actually become litigious, and she knows that, okay, well, this guy would probably make me settle, so I don't want to do it. Instead, we're going to go and copyright strike the little guy. Because, like, what recourse do they get? And the whole purpose for this is to get her name trending on Twitter. That's literally it. Because nowadays, actors, right, their name is their brand. So they believe that the more people talk about them, the more popular they are, right? It's like, oh, well, people know my name, but it's trending on Twitter. It's not even about like, hey, I'm a good actor, I played in this production, because all productions are shit. Like, name me a good movie that came out within the last 4 years, and it's something that you would be like, yeah, I can see myself watching this again 40 years from now. You know, like something on the level of Lord of the Rings, something on the level of the original Matrix trilogy, something like the Terminator or RoboCop. Like name me something that came out which is at that level within the last within the last 8 years. Let's do it like that. You would struggle to try to think of something, wouldn't you? And this is the absolute state of the film industry. It's not about racismus. It's not about sexismus. It's the fact that they can't produce for shit. And you know, like this whole thing, it's like, oh, it's about sexismus. Fallout, the TV show, actually got pretty decent reviews. You know, I personally didn't like it, but even I can look objectively at the thing and say, yeah, you know what, it was successful. I can look at it because as a Fallout fan, I felt that they didn't respect the lore, and I was like, why didn't you create something else then? But I can look at it and I can still say, objectively speaking, it was well received by the public. Star Wars The Acolyte is anything but. Let me know what you guys think, though, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.